15 Statute 635 is ratified by the Congress of the United States. As a council member of this tribe, I am bound by my oath of office to uphold that statute. Article 11 says anything that comes through Indian country has to have an assessment and damages. In this case, it's subjective assessment. This tribe has adopted a social impact assessment, which is a methodology that is not recognized by the United States. It does no such measurement of the damages to communities at that level. The United States almost did it when Exxon Valdez happened to the Tlingit village in Alaska. They almost adopted a methodology. It didn't happen. So we adopted our own. It's called the SIA. It is a methodology that every person, company, and the United States is bound to recognize. And that's the impacts. You know, we have survived incredible odds. You must know that we are Sitting Bull's people. You must know who we are. And we sit on a previous military fort. And we have survived that. And we have rebuilt on what was taken from us. We survived Wounded Knee, a massacre. We are survivors. We are fighters. And we are protectors of our land. And if that social impact assessment can protect this homeland for 7 generations, then perhaps we could look at a proposal from any company. But we realize we are in a national sacrifice area. We have always been. The Black Hills are part of our territory. National sacrifice so America could take the largest gold mine and take all the gold from our people. We have about $5 billion in the treasury that we did not take for payment of that gold. We are a national sacrifice area. We were the #1 military zone. They nationalized our airspace to protect this country. And in my lifetime, a national sacrifice area to build the dams so that there could be hydropower and revenue in the national interest for this country. And taking my home, flooding it in the middle of a cold winter. I know what it is to be homeless. I know what it is to be hungry in this great land of plenty, where we are lived in the richest riverbed in the world. So it's nothing for you to come and say, we want to do this. We want to be friends with you. But Section 106, what the National Historic Preservation Office has addressed, is ancestral territory. It's very astute for you to go around the northern boundary of Standing Rock as we see it in modern times. This is treated territory. Those are ancestral lands. 50 yards, 100 miles north is treaty territory. So you are bound by Section 106, by the laws of this country, to adhere to those laws that are federal laws for the protection of our people. So it wasn't very, very cool to go just 50 feet north of our boundary. We need to know also that there's been a $5 million claim filed on the Bakken. $5 million a day for what's going on in the Bakken in treaty territory. That's been filed in 2007. So we are not stupid people. We are not ignorant people. Do not underestimate the people of Standing Rock. We know what's going on, and we know what belongs to us, and we know what we have to keep for our children and our grandchildren. In 15 Statute 635, we are also keepers of the Missouri River to the east bank. To the east bank. That's statutory. And the Army Corps of Engineers, in all of their underhandedness and their control they think they have of this river, is our territory. You mentioned nothing about the water. You don't want to infringe on native lands, but our water is our single last property that we have for our people. And water is life. Miniwi choni. You as a human being cannot drink oil. You need the water to survive. 75% of our body is water. We believe in the natural systems that we have. We have fought for that. We have sacrificed for it. And we're still waiting for the compensation for the building of the dams. We are still owed on the construction of those dams $339 million. That's probably a drop in the bucket for your oil company. We're still owed for the actual revenue that comes off of it. We are owners of 13% of the hydropower on that river. How do you separate it? How are you going to separate the oil from the water when it's contaminated? How are you going to do that? Only the Creator can do that. Maybe in your high technology, you think you can. But this is our property. This is our homeland. And we are protected by statute. There is statutory law that has to be changed. And let you know that we did go on record to sue Keystone XL pipeline to stop it. And we are going before the Public Utilities Commission in South Dakota because they have to redo their licensing process. And we will do whatever we have to do to stop this pipeline, as we do 55 other pipelines proposed in North Dakota. Dakota, North Dakota. Mia ma Dakota. I'm Dakota. Dakota means friend and ally. This was Dakota territory. This is treaty territory. This is where you agreed not to come into my territory. We signed a treaty of peace that you would not come here. The state of North Dakota and South Dakota, they filed an enabling act to join the Union of the United States, that they would not interfere in the affairs of the people who lived here. And that was upheld by the Supreme Court of the United States in 1964. So we have put on our best. We will put our best warriors in the front. We are the vanguard. We are Hunkpapa Lakota. That means the horn of the buffalo. That's who we are. We are the protectors of our nation, of Ochete Shakoi. The 7 council fires know who we are. We will put forward our young people, our young lawyers who understand the weasel words now of the English language, who know that one word can mean 7 things. We understand the forked tongue that our grandfathers talked about. We know about talking about both sides of your mouth, smiling with one side of your face. We know all the tricks of the Washichu world. Our young people have mastered it. I have mastered your language. I can speak eloquently in the English language my grandmother taught me. But I also know the genetic psyche. And I also have the collective memory of the damages that have occurred to my people. And I will never submit to any pipeline to go through my homeland. Mitakease.
Go ahead, Ron.
One comment that I want to say is 2,500 feet is too close. There's a refinery in Mandan, so why can't you bring your pipeline to there, work with those people, bring it down through Bismarck, cross the river, whatever, follow that interstate highway system. I mean, it's there, you know. That's my comment.
Also, we ask that you consult with Standing Rock, because we do have the expertise and we do have knowledge of where the sites are. There are tribes that claim they know what sites are, but because we're talking about the entire area that you're trying to take the pipeline through crosses our treaty boundaries and where we existed before anybody. And so we have significant sites and we know what they are, and we're always trying to educate people about the sites. So if we know exactly where your pipeline is, we could help you and identify what is there. But that's where we have to work together, and that's why I thank you guys for coming to this has never been done before, where XL Pipeline, they just routed it. They had no communication with tribes prior. There was no communication with, we have 7, we call Ochete Shakoi, the original tribes that were in this area. So by you coming and trying to understand what our concerns are, what our questions are, what laws apply, if the 1981 pipeline that crosses north of the Cannibal River, if the 1992 law was in place, we could have showed where there's a significant site to our ancestors, to us, and to future generations. We could have let them see what exists there, and it's still there today. Even though you can look on a map, you can look on GoogleMap.com satellite images where the pipeline crosses north of Cannibal, 1,500 feet or 2,500 feet. There's an you can see where it's been dredged. You can see where the water goes under the river, and it's right beside an island that was important to us. So that's within that right of way. So it's really important that you communicate with Standing Rock right now. That's what we're asking. You're here, so any future plans on routes or anything, you should come to Standing Rock and not other tribes. That's our ask for you. Randy's over there.
Good morning. First of all, I just want to say that you're talking about consultation. I mean, to me, when you have the stakes laid out, to me, I mean, it's not consultation because the plans are already done. And to me, that's really wrong. The other concerns I have is we talk about refineries and oil. A year ago in North Dakota, we're all native in North Dakota, people were paying $5.64 for propane up to $6.25. Where were the people that were pumping all this refinery oil out of here when people from North Dakota are having hard times? And a lot of times I posed that to our senators, and I said, what do we have a refinery? When I can go to Rapid City, South Dakota and get 24 cents cheaper gas, or go to Fargo and get, what is our refinery doing here for North Dakota? To me, there's only a few people that are getting rich off it, and surely ain't the people from North Dakota. So I just wanted to make those concerns because a a lot of us live here, and we have to pay that high propane cost. And a lot of times, I know we address it, so I just wanted to put it on the record, because I mean, that's a lot of our people don't have that money to pay $5.64 or $6.25 for propane. That's a lot. That's a lot. So I just wanted you to take that back and tell all these billionaires. I mean, these are lives that are north of Cannonball. That's a lot of our family that they're gonna. But I just want to make that matter of record, Chairman. So
I'm like the chairman. I thank you for coming, but some of the things that I was concerned with is the participation of our THPO. I think they really have to participate in the monitoring of those sites, cultural sites. You said they're out there walking the ground now, and that's been a standard, I guess, a sore spot with the states of North Dakota and South Dakota is that they really don't have a lot of that information about cultural sites within our reservation. We have that, I guess, historical knowledge here on the reservation that they have. A lot of it, some of it, I should say, is not written down. So it really is going to take some tribal participation. You ain't going to get a map with it marked out. And a lot of it's in our oral histories. And the knowledge is kept there in the Tribal Historic Preservation Office. So there's got to be a way for this tribe to participate, because you're going to miss something. And then I understand, I wanted to let you know that yesterday the Standing Rock Tribal Water Control Board passed a motion to oppose those two pipelines. Actually, it's going to be by resolution. And the reason being is that we do monitoring of our waters here on the reservation. We test them and everything. And we have intakes in the Missouri River. And we utilize that water for consumption on this reservation. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be a major concern for us, is the contamination of the water. They all leak, no matter what. Every oil pipeline leaks. And we're going to end up contaminating our water. One of the uses we have is beneficial use, and that means that we consume the water. We're really worried about it being contaminated for us here now that use it now and our future generations. It's a great fear that we have. They all leak, no matter what. It's going to happen, and it's going to ruin that water that we consume and that future generations are going to consume. So they passed the Water Control Board, and it'll come before this council, and we'll probably be coming forth with a resolution opposing it.
And the tribal council already has a
previous resolutions
resolution
with
2012.
previous pipelines. I guess that's what I wanted to stress there, that we have superior winner's doctrine rights on all the waterways in our Aboriginal territories, and we do use the water, so that would be our biggest fear, is that it's going to be contaminated. So that's all I wanted to mention, is what the action the Water Control Board took yesterday.
Okay, thanks, Avis. Go ahead, Phyllis.
One comment that I want to say is 2,500 feet is too close. There's a refinery in Mandan, so why can't you bring your pipeline to there, work with those people, bring it down through Bismarck, cross the river, whatever, follow that interstate highway system. I mean, it's there, you know. That's my comment.
With our position, we know that we can live without oil. We know that we can live without money, but we can't live without water. So we're always doing what we can to protect that, and also to protect our culture sites.